Well, fireworks make us go, ooh, ah. But what makes the colors in fireworks? Rick, the scientist, shows us.
Hi, I'm Rick Crosland, and I'm wondering, what does salt, a stinky sock, and an American flag have to do with science? Simple. It's the 4th of July, and we're going to talk about the science of fireworks. So, the first part of learning about fireworks is you have to get the fireworks charge, or the chemicals, up in the sky. So you need an explosion. And I have one here, a project I do called Knock Your Socks Off. I put a little chemical in here, calcium carbonate. That's a dry chemical. And if I take this sock and I stuff it in here, oh, that's a stinky sock, that's for sure. So you want the fireworks to get high in the sky so more people can see them. Fireworks have been around since the 7th century. That's a long time. So here's my chemical, stored potential energy. And if I can ignite it, it should send that sock up in the sky. Think of it as our fireworks going up. Ready? And that got it pretty high in the sky. Not as high as fireworks need to be, though. But what about the color? And the color has to do with other chemicals, other elements, like these I have in my hand right here. So once you get a projectile up in the sky, it is still on fire, and they add different chemicals to give off different color, because every element has a fingerprint or a property that when it burns, the electrons get excited, and when they release their energy, a different color of electromagnetic photons will be visible. For example, copper, when it's burned, it makes a green, and barium is blue. Lithium, another green. Sodium, which we find in our salt, burns yellow. And if you want to have a white, well, next time when you see a fireworks that's all white, it's probably aluminum. One of my favorite is strontium. Strontium is red. So these are some of the chemicals that when you see the 4th of July fireworks, when you see red, think strontium. You know, I like to make drawings. Let's see. Oh, here's my granddaughter's drawing. She's been helping me with some science. Very good. Not that one. Here we go. Sodium. Sodium makes yellow. And how does that do that? Well, sodium, the atom in the sodium, if we ever make a little atom right here, a drawing of an atom, it also has these electrons going around it. And if you add energy in the form of maybe burning it, that little electron goes shooting up with more energy, and it gets up here too from a low energy to a high energy. And then when it cools or changes, it drops back down and gives off a certain wavelength of energy called electromagnetic radiation or visible light, and that's a photon, and it happens to be in the color yellow. So sodium burns yellow. And different elements will give off different light. So when we look to the stars with special telescopes, when we see the colors like we see right here, we know that hydrogen gives off a certain color wavelength, and now we can tell the elements that are in the stars or in other planets or other things in space by the light they give off. Okay, it's finally dark enough to see some really cool colors in the fireworks. And I'm using this incandescent light, but let's switch to something a little more antique, maybe not as old as fireworks, a hurricane lamp. So let's see, I'll light this guy up right here, and even this lamp right here, you can see by the color, that color tells us something about the kerosene being burnt. It also tells us a little bit about how high and how much oxygen. Let me turn it down a little bit. All right, so let's start off with a candle. These are the birthday candles that you can get in different colors, and the colors are because of the different elements that you see in here. We have the reds, the yellows, and the greens, all different elements. Same stuff used in fireworks. So I have added a special alcohol to each of these, and let's see the different colors. You're going to see blue at first, but then you should see the different colors of flame. Here's our first one. And this is the ooh-ah flame test. As the alcohol burns off, the blue will go away. We're starting to get orange and reds. One of my favorite is the greens. And these are the same elements that are mixed in fireworks to get the beautiful colors. Ooh-ah flame test. And on the 4th of July, when you look up in the sky and see these, you'll probably say ooh and ah. I might as well add a sparkler to the mix. Let's see what I got here. This should be aluminum burning, and I should get a nice white sparkler flame off of this. Let's see if I get it. Have a safe, science-filled 4th of July. So to me, that's pretty cool. There's a lot of science in the world. And when you enjoy the 4th of July this weekend, think about the elements. Think about the science behind the colors. Don't think about my stinky sock.